Welcome back to another review here at Total Toy Recon. Today we are reviewing the 1/7 scale statue of Darth Vader from the Obi-Wan Kenobi Disney Plus series. This is big. This is a monster. This is unbelievably awesome, and it retails for $200 on Gentle Giant, in case you're wondering. Now, as you can see, we have the flames here. This is one of two pieces that you have to put together, at least near each other, or complement one another, and that is with the Obi-Wan. Now, we will bring the Obi-Wan out, but we will look at Vader first before we get to it. So a quick look here, and then you will see we do have, it's almost 16 inches across. It's 14 inches, so it's about 2 inches bigger in height and length than the Obi-Wan was. I will have a link at the end of this video to Obi-Wan, just solo, but we will bring him in later and then do them side by side. So let's open up Vader, see how he is, see what he looks like. Is he worth the $200 price point? Is these flames part of the color, or is this just clever lighting in the way they shot it? It is limited to 3,000, and we have 493. So let's get to it. So doing the box again, we have Diamond Select toys on here, but it's clearly a Gentle Giant product. If you're unaware, Diamond Select owns Gentle Giant. But see, it's funny, as we have this on the box, maybe this is just a standard stamp for something this big, but we do have a letter of authenticity, which is what I call the baseball card. Now, if you get a Diamond Select item, like a Legends in 3D, you get a 3x5 card. So it's kind of interesting that we have this and this, and I'm sure eventually these companies will combine. It's just something, as somebody who's interested in marketing and in branding, it's kind of funny how these are starting to slowly blend together. And I've been fortunate enough that I've actually been on, been able to follow this the last couple of years when these two companies have come together. So we're going to open up Vader, and we're going to open him up from this side, clearly this being the top, because we opened Obi-Wan and we could see the difference. We actually opened him up upside down, so we want to be very careful when you open him, just to make sure that everything is a-okay and that you don't have pieces falling out and ruining the statue before you even get a chance to display him. And I was clearly right, because there's Vader's hand coming out. And I gotta say, there were several attempts at making larger figures by Hasbro, and these are just statues, and the likenesses for Obi-Wan, and you can see the whole review of Obi-Wan, and don't worry, we'll bring him in later. The sculptors over there at Gentle Giant, you kind of wish that they were doing the Hasbro ones, or making Hasbro figures this big. So Vader's very heavy. We're going to set him here to the side, and we do have a base for the fire, very similar to Obi-Wan's in almost every way. This is kind of cool. And another interesting discrepancy in the lightsabers. So I'll get to that in a second. So we're going to bring out the base here. Always be careful with the flames. You never know what happens. These things ship from the other side of the world. And, so here you can see where the pegs are going to go. That'll hold them in place. So his foot's going to rest. It's very smooth sand. But the flames are great. They catch enough light. And the one thing that I did mention when I opened the box is that, did Vader look the way he did in the box because they colored it, or because they shot light up through the light? And a quick look is to tell me that it looks as if they just shot the light. Yep. So that's an interesting mix. So we're gonna put him on the base. Oh, wow. I'm sorry. Oh wow. Oh wow. Yeah, sorry. There are times you lose yourself when you're reviewing things, and then you look and you go, the 5-year-old me just literally freaked out because it was that cool. So I don't know what that says about my review. I'm not trying to be one-sided or jaded, but wow, it's really cool. I've reviewed a lot of these. I thought the Empire Strikes Back one and I'll put a link to the Empire Strikes Back one at the end that I did during the pandemic when I was in lockdown. I thought that one was pretty cool, but yeah, this is pretty cool. And I'm just letting him sit, so I should really turn him. So the silver here, awesome, very reminiscent of Anakin's armor in the Clone Wars. Kind of like he kept that. The cape here is amazing, and we do have some great, I'm going to try and pick it up here. We do have some great gray fading where it would be dirty from touching the ground, which is awesome. And it is more similar here to the boots. The boots clearly have sand on them. So the one thing that immediately caught my attention was the size of the lightsaber hilt. It's very small. Like, we have this, and then we have this. That's not a very big lightsaber. So I don't understand why that's so small. You think it would be just a little bit bigger. But, I mean, the hand is in the right position. He's doing everything that you want him to do as Vader. These are awesome, this side here. So we really do have a great Dark Lord of the Sith. And you know, one thing that I'd like to bring up is that my wife has issues with Hayden Christensen's performance, and in the prequel trilogy, but now, like, he's had a chance to redeem himself and stuff, but there's still so much angst, I think, in some fans' generations, a certain fan from a certain generation, of his performance. And I don't think it's his performance so much, but it's what he was given in the sequels or prequels, whereas in now there's so much more meat on the bone for the character to chew on. And I think if George would have given us more meat for Hayden to chew on, about, like, actually going more through just a quick scene of, I slaughtered them all, the women and the children, and then boom, oh, here's my hot girlfriend and everything's fine. You know, there should have been more to it than that. We kind of moved on very quickly. And now we have everything that he did, losing everybody, her falling, him being almost trapped in this nightmare that he created. There's so much more for the character, for the actor to chew on for the character. So I've talked way too much. Let's get the lightsaber in here. And again, I'm going to say, I found it a little odd that the lightsaber actually has pieces of the hilt here instead of just the piece going right in. That's different. So I had numerous lightsabers that I've done, Kanan Jarrus, Ahsoka, Darth Maul, and usually you just put the little lightsaber in, and this piece is already in part of the hand. So kind of a different change, and I wonder why they did that, but ours is not the reason why. We're going to put that in there. Doesn't seem to be like a right or wrong reason. Just put it like that. Give you a little focus. And that is insanely awesome. So we're going to bring in Obi-Wan and do a side-by-side comparison, or how the two should look in the shot. In your display. So let's get Anakin's master. All right, so here we have the apprentice and the master, and the former apprentice and the former master. So clearly this is from their duel when eventually Vader does, spoilers, hurt Obi-Wan in a way we never thought that was ever going to happen, which is fantastic to see a fight like this, like a sequel to the fight at Mustafar. I mean, you know, did it ever think, no, never going to happen? Because we thought that fight was on the Death Star, but we actually got this whole other fight. Very grueling, very rough, very, like, destructive and evil, and really showed Vader, like, off in a way that we didn't really ever see except for in Rogue One. So, and that was against non-Jedi. But here we are looking at these two pieces. So what we have to do is, as you can see, they are massive. And I'm sorry to see the lines on the side, but this lightsaber is just fantastic. This lightsaber is fantastic. Trying to capture everything. You kind of wish that there was some, like, more lava flames that they could put between the two of them, because I don't think that the pieces really fit together. Ooh. Okay. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to pan down, and they kind of fit together. But if Vader's arm is that long, so we're going to pan back up. If Vader's arm is that long, why doesn't he just choke Kenobi instead of using the Force? So they're clearly not made to be this close together, even though you can kind of see right here I'm going to pan back down again. They do kind of fit like a puzzle piece. So it is interesting, but you would never do this because you lose so much of their faces and the duel itself. So you really do have to separate them. But you can see the height difference in the two characters. And clearly we have two very different approaches. We have, you know, the confidence and the dark side. We have the man who's ready to defend himself. We have the attacker. We have the defender. You know, there's a lot here, a lot of character. And when you put the two pieces together, besides the $400 price point that you've got for such a beautiful set, you really do have to have them that way. This is what a lot of Star Wars fans wanted out of the prequels. And we got it in Kenobi, and it took a while, but it's really a fantastic set, and you need it that way. So I'm going to break back into the solo review here, but to see the two side by side, it's damn good. They're really, really amazing. Okay, so we had Master and Apprentice side by side, or the former Master and the former Apprentice side by side, and just wanted to take note and give you a final thought here on Vader. I mean, if you watch the whole review, you clearly notice that I kind of lost it, and you really can't. I mean, is this the best Vader to date? It very well might be. And the thing about Gentle Giant is, you know, there's part of me as a collector that wonders, you know, how far we've come from this to this in, you know, what was that, 25, 30 some years. But how much further can we go with this? You know, we've actually gone back and done this again. So how much further can a vintage collection figure go when it comes to these kind of, what action figures can do and how many points of articulation and all that kind of thing. So how far can we actually go? How can we level up? In short, how can we level up? When I look at this, and I do I look at my old Vader Empire Strikes Back from the cave on Dagobah version, and I thought that one was fantastic. This is pretty hard to top. But they for some reason, unlike the action figures with, you know, ball joints and knees and hips and all that other stuff, I'm starting to think Gentle Giant will top this, and it will be even better than this. And this is pretty darn good. So kudos to those guys, those master craftsmen, really loving this Vader. This is Bob from Total Toy Recon. This bad boy is $200. Patronize your local comic book store. Order it directly from Gentle Giant. I'm sure you'll find a deal out there somewhere where you can get one of these guys with free shipping. But this is something you have to have in your collection. Fan of the series or not, that's Darth Vader.